Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Essie Summer 2024 collection. I don't know what the actual name is going to be. Usually it's one of the polishes, but I found these on the Ulta website and they don't have that information yet. I will link Ulta down below where I found these. As far as I know, that's the only place where they are available, but it'll be another like 6 or so days before I get this video up, so they might be somewhere else by then. So 6 polishes altogether, and I also will have comparisons after the swatches, so let's get into it.
So the first polish is called Glisten to Your Heart, and this is described as a soft sand neutral. I am using the descriptions on the Ulta website because Essie hasn't posted them yet, but they read like they're going to be the same as the Essie ones. So this has a really nice shimmer. That kind of pinky shimmer in there stands out really nicely. It doesn't really have brush strokes through it, very minor, I guess, but those melt in completely as it dries. It is a little bit sheer on the first coat, but it is also very even. I very much expected to need 3 coats for this one. I did not think that it was going to be even with no streaks. If I look very closely, I could still see a little bit of nail line, but I was good with this in 2 coats. That being said, I could maybe see needing 3 just depending on your application. So that is 2 coats of Glisten to Your Heart. The next polish is called Meditation Haven, and this is described as a soft yellow with neutral undertones. Also, my child is sick, so if it sounds like I haven't slept in 2 days, it's because I haven't slept in 2 days. This covered pretty well on the first coat for me, but I did kind of accidentally end up doing a thicker first coat than I intended. A little bit streaky here on this first coat, but that did blend in pretty well as it settled. Formula feels pretty good on this one as well. It doesn't have that like mind-blowing Essie cream formula that I always hope for, but it is still very good. This covered really well for me in 2 coats, but again, I could see needing 3, maybe even for myself on a different day, just depending on your application. So that is 2 coats of Meditation Haven. The next polish is called It's All Bright, and this is described as a deep champagne metallic. Great formula on this one. It's a little bit sheer. It's a lot more sparkly and metallic than I expected, and it dries down to like a really nice foil finish, which I just didn't think I was going to see from this. The brush strokes that were here blended in really nicely as it dried, and that second coat covered completely. I feel like if I really looked for it, I could pick out some visible nail line, but it was very, very minor. So that is 2 coats of It's All Bright. The next polish is called Breathe In, Breathe Out, and this is described as a soft, dusty purple with white undertones. This is that perfect, beautiful, practically applies itself kind of Essie cream formula that I always talk about. It is so smooth and self-leveling and nearly opaque in 1 coat. It built up perfectly in 2 coats, and it did dry just a little bit darker than it was when it was wet. So that is 2 coats of Breathe In, Breathe Out. The next polish is called Soul Searching, and this is described as a mid-tone terracotta orange with red undertones. This again is that perfect, beautiful cream formula. It levels itself out nicely. It's super opaque. This might have been a little less opaque in 1 coat than the previous polish, but that's kind of a pointless observation because it is just 1 coat. Easily covered in 2 coats, and again, dried just a little bit darker than when it was wet. So that is 2 coats of Soul Searching. And the last polish is called Sun-Renity, and this is described as a deep pink with yellow undertones. Again, really repeating myself here because the formula on this one is also perfect. It levels itself out beautifully. It's super opaque on the first coat, practically applies itself, just really easy to move around the nail, not feeling like you're going to flood your nail or not have enough polish in spots. Covered perfectly and easily in 2 coats, and again, dried a little bit darker. That is 2 coats of Sun-Renity. Okay, so for Glisten to Your Heart, this first one that I have here is Coral Coast. This is a little bit more pink, less of that like warm kind of neutral yellow gold shade. It doesn't have any contrasting shimmer, and it is much more sparkly, kind of like a foil finish. This one is Many Thanks. This is also a little bit of a lighter, paler shade of gold and has all of that foily sparkle to it. This is Glycerol. This is also a little bit darker, maybe a little bit more pink, and has a more broken up, almost foil-like silvery shimmer to it. This one is Light as Linen. This is a very similar shimmer, but it's a much darker, almost taupey brown shade. This is Sequin Sash. This is much lighter and more sheer and kind of like pearly finish, kind of similar in color, a little bit lighter, and then has like a scattered really fine silver glitter to it. This one is Sunny Days. This is much darker and warmer with a more broken up gold shimmer. And then this one is Don't Be Salty. This is paler, pinker, and with that kind of foily silver shimmer to it. So nothing close here. So this wheel is way over capacity. I ended up adding things to it after I started it because I kept thinking of other polishes that I wanted to compare to, and it got out of control. So this is No Place Like Chrome. I wanted to put in here just for reference. This is a very silver chrome finish. Obviously much cooler and silver and just not a total match. This one is Getting Groovy. This is a very similar kind of like foil sparkly finish, but it is much more gold, warmer yellow gold. This is So Stellar. This also has a very like sparkly finish to it, but it has like little gold flakes. It's a little bit more sheer and again leans more gold and less of this kind of like neutrally, I don't know, I guess neutral shade. This one is Stars Aligned. This is a very pink foil. I was surprised at how this looks kind of pink in between these shades, but then it looks much more cool and neutral next to Stars Aligned. This is Stealing the Scene. This again doesn't have that sparkle to it, although the color is a bit closer. It's still a little bit darker, but it's closer. This is Beyond Cozy. This is a straight up glitter. Again, kind of similar colors, a little bit more gold, but it's very glittery, very textured. This is Have and To Gold. This is a gel couture. This is close. It's a little bit warmer, leaning a little bit more copper. It's a foil finish, so it has a very similar sparkle. It's a little bit more like blended into the polish rather than set apart like it is with It's All Bright, but I'm surprised at how close this actually was. This is Sweet Tart. This is taupier. It's much creamier. It has a shimmer to it. It's like a slightly pinky red shimmer, but it doesn't stand out nearly as much as I thought it was going to, so definitely not close there. This is Call Your Bluff. This is a little more pink and it's I think it's supposed to be a holographic, but it's a very weak holographic, so nothing close there. It doesn't have that same kind of sparkle to it. This one is High Tides and Dives. This is close. It's a little bit more gold and a little darker, but the finish is pretty close. This is Semi-Precious Tones. This is a much stronger holographic with a scattered silver holographic glitter to it. It is a little bit warmer, and obviously the holographic sets it apart quite a bit, but in general, it's close. And then this is Heart of Gold. This is also a little bit more copper. It's darker, but the finish is similar. So for Meditation Haven, this first one here is Summer Solstice. This is close. It's a little bit more pale of a yellow, but it is still pretty close. This one is Feeling Wellies. When I picked a lot of them out, they had been sitting in my drawer for a while, so they were separated, and they looked like they would be much closer than they actually were, and once I shook them up and put them on the nail, a lot of these ended up much more orange than they looked when they were separated. So that's what happened here. This is Feeling Wellies. This is very peachy, and I think I remember this being more yellow than this, but it's not. This is Hey There. This is a little bit deeper and dustier, I guess, dirtier, grungier, whatever you want to call it. This is All or Nothing. This is another one that faked me out when it was separated. This is a very dark orange shade. This one is Check Your Baggage. Again, it's a kind of yellowy macaroni and cheese orange, nothing close. This is Gilded Glitz. This is a gel couture shade. This is another one that kind of faked me out. It's much more orange. This one is Avant Garment. This is also a gel couture. This is very, very close. It might be just a touch, the teeniest, tiniest bit more of a vibrant yellow, but it is very, very close. This is Barbuda Banana. This is very old, very impossible to find. It's like one of my collector's polishes, I guess, but I wanted to put it in here because there aren't a lot of Essie yellows, or at least there weren't at the time, so I pull it out whenever I think of an Essie yellow. This is a little bit more light and pastel, and like I said, maybe I'm just bragging at this point because it really didn't need to be in here. No one can find this. This one is All Fun and Games. This is a little bit dirtier and darker as well, maybe leaning a little more like Dijon mustardy. And then this one is Shook. This is an Expressy shade. This is also a little bit darker. I don't want to say more vibrant. It is like just a darker, deeper, leaning towards mustard yellow. So for Breathe In, Breathe Out, this is Bizarre You Ready. This is new. This is from an Ulta exclusive collection, which I will hopefully have a video up on soon, but this is a much brighter, more vibrant shade. This one is Splash of Grenadine. This is kind of a jelly finish and also much warmer and lighter. This one is very close. This is Suits You Swell. This is a little tiny bit lighter, but they are very, very close. This is Chastity. Again, a much brighter, more vibrant pink. This is an Expressy polish. This is In the Time Zone. This is also a lighter. It has like the same dusty quality, but it's a much lighter shade. This is Sittin' Pretty. This is deeper and maybe not even deeper, just taupier, more neutral. And then this one is It Takes a West Village. This is also very close. It's a little bit warmer. It's not quite as close as Suits You Swell. Maybe it is just in the other direction, where Suits You Swell was like a little bit brighter and this is just a little bit deeper.
So that's close to, I guess. Okay, so for soul searching, this is Midnight Delight. This is much deeper and more chocolatey brown. This one is Taj Mahal. This is a little bit lighter and less of a burnt orange. This one is Madrid It for the Gram. This is also a lighter, more vibrant orange. Same goes for this one. This is Frilly Lilies, also lighter and a little more vibrant. This is Row with the Flow. This is, it looks like it's like the same polish, just a couple shades darker. So darker, not a dupe at all, but kind of along the same lines. This one is Buzzworthy Bash. This is more yellow, but kind of the same tone. This is Let It Slide. This is also a little bit warmer and darker. This here is Fall for NYC. This is a little bit lighter, not a ton lighter. Significant, but not like dramatic. This one is On the Bright Sider. This is very close, just a little bit darker. This is Coconuts for You. This is the closest, just a little bit lighter, and maybe slightly less warm. And then this one is Playing Coy. This is much darker. So for Sun-Renity, this is Talk Sweet to Me. This is a little bit lighter, kind of close, a little bit lighter. This is Flying Solo. This is much lighter. This is Satin Slip. This is a jelly, so it's gonna have a much squishier look to it, and it's lighter. This one looks like it didn't get top coat. This is a Gel Couture. This is Hemmed on the Horizon. This is very, very close, just a touch darker. This one is Not What It Seems. This is also a Gel Couture. This is much darker. This one is Mrs. Always Right. This is a couple shades darker and maybe a little bit more red. Maybe that just comes with being darker. This is In Stitches. This, you can see this is 3 coats and it's still really uneven on that swatch wheel. This is also darker and a bit more red. This is Knockout Pout. This is much lighter. I don't know why this is in here. This is much lighter. It's Coral. I don't know why this is in here. This one, where are we? This one is Been There, London That. This is also much more red. And then this is Lips Are Sealed. And this is similar in tone, but a couple shades darker. This was a very unusual summer collection. I actually kind of like the warm deserty kind of vibe that it has. Normally I would complain about there not being variety, and there's definitely polishes here like It's All Bright that I probably would never wear, but I kind of like the color story together. I think it looks nice. Mediation Haven is going to be my favorite. This is a really nice shade of yellow. I get really excited anytime Essie makes a yellow, even though I know it's not like super rare anymore like it used to be, but I love it. And this is a great shade of yellow. This is like the perfect kind of like warm, still bright pastel. I'm very picky about yellows. When a pastel yellow gets too pastel and starts looking kind of like ivory, I'm not a huge fan of that. So this is perfect, and the formula is fantastic also. So that is the Essie Summer 2024 collection. Again, I found those at Ulta, so I will link that website down below. You might be able to find them somewhere else by now, but that's where I got them. So hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.